What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost, and when I saw this headline today, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker does right by its character trio, I was like, what, are you talking about the legacy trio, Luke, Han, and Leia? And then I realized they weren't, but still, this is laughable. Amidst the divided response for J.J. Abrams' Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, one thing it got right is its main trio, Rey, Finn, and Poe, and I just completely disagree. Even as someone who does not care about the Disney trilogy, after Force Awakens, I was out. I can't, look at the character arcs that they went through and be like, yeah, they were treated really well. They were done right. It's an absolute joke. So we'll get into it. The Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker may have divided fans, but one thing it objectively got right is its treatment of the main trio, Rey, Finn, and Poe. With Star Wars 9, J.J. Abrams came back to close out the sequel trilogy, which he kicked off in 2015's Force Awakens. The latter not only brought back legacy characters like Han, Leia, and Luke, it also introduced a crop of new galactic key players. There's Scavenger Rey, Stormtrooper Finn, and Resistance ace pilot Oscar Isaac. They represented the good side of the narrative opposite First Order members, Kylo Ren and General Hux. All three characters went on their own respective journeys, though Finn was paired first with Poe and then Rey. After the successful destruction of Starkiller Base, they went on separate tangents leading to Star Wars The Last Jedi that mostly kept all three characters apart. And that's the thing. You're talking about how justice was done to this trio when they've barely spent any time together. You make it seem like they have this big rewarding conclusion when they do nothing to build up to it. Finn is with Poe for 5 minutes in The Force Awakens. Then goes on, then meets Rey. Then is with Rey for quite a while. That is true. They don't really build too much chemistry. It seems to be maybe leading into the next movie. They intend to really, he obviously cares about her, and it's enough to make him stop and think about not running away, right? That's Finn's arc in The Force Awakens. He's done running away. He's going to stand and fight for something, for Rey. So he's obviously very attached to her, who knows how much she is to him. But then in the second movie, everybody does different stuff. Poe is doing his stuff the whole time. Finn is doing his stuff with Rose the whole time. And Rey is doing her stuff the whole time. There is no character development between them. And you're supposed to act like in Rise of Skywalker that a year has passed and you're supposed to believe that they've spent a bunch of time together because a couple little one-liners. It's all payoff with no earning it. And that's the problem with The Rise of Skywalker. One of the big problems. Despite the lack of personal history with each other, Rise of Skywalker is somehow able to sell their camaraderie to the public, that we find ourselves rooting hard for these heroes. Who is this? Unlike the original trilogy trio, Luke, Leia, and Han, and even the prequels' main three, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme, Rey, Finn, and Poe spend less time with each other. In fact, they never went on a mission until The Rise of Skywalker. This was a glaring issue for some who may have liked the aforementioned characters individually, but felt the need to have them all together in the same way their predecessors did. I don't even like them. I hate these characters, but I have a problem with it. It seemed like Abrams knew of this problem leading to the movie, allowing him to address it given what's established. Rise of Skywalker was able to sell this notion thanks to the 1-year time jump between it and The Last Jedi. All three of them joined the Resistance rebuilding period, fans given the impression they spend more time with each other off screen where they got to know each other better. You are given that impression, but it's not believable. It's not believable at all. It's not the most ideal situation, but it was possible thanks to the innate chemistry. The playful bantering among them implied they've gotten comfortable with each other, adding a dynamic layer to their relationship. From there, The Rise of Skywalker made sure the main trio spent as much time together as possible. And that's true, but they're literally just frantically running around the entire time. How can you say that Finn was done right? Finn was set up in The Force Awakens. Finn is one of the most underutilized characters in this thing, and one of the people who's been hurt the most by the path the sequel trilogy went. In Force Awakens, he has this arc where, like I said before, he is ready to stop running. He's ready to stand and fight for something. He's not going to be a coward anymore. But then in The Last Jedi, they erase all that and make him redo his arc. And then in this one, he's again running all around, and they're like, you know what? Let's say he's Force sensitive. So many people thought and hoped that he would have been the one to be Force sensitive, to become a Jedi. But no, they didn't do that, because if you believe the leaks, it's because they didn't want a black male overshadowing their female. They didn't want that diversity overshadowing this diversity. Can you imagine if that is true? If those leaks are true, that is astounding. Well, not really. It's Disney. I could believe it. But Finn has been hurt so bad, and so many people were fans of him and wanted him to see more. How can you say they've been done justice? Their adventure brought them to various locations, including Pisana, where they encountered Lando, Kijimi, where they encountered Zori, and the First Order Star Destroyer. Despite this, The Rise of Skywalker knew it didn't have the screen time needed to truly establish a stronger relationship, simply because of lingering plot points. It made up for that with internal dialogue, or intentional dialogue. Throughout the movie, we hear the characters repeatedly insisting that they need to go through this whole debacle together, emphasizing their strong bond. That was evident when Poe and Finn demanded they went with Rey as she begins her journey to Exegol. And again when Finn refused to let Rey travel to the Death Star ruins on her own, although she just did it anyway. When the film's final battle, they were all separated. Once the First Order and Emperor Palpatine were defeated, we see all three heroes come together for a tight embrace, a show of collective relief and unity. And what she said halfway through this freaking paragraph, that they made up for it with dialogue. They tried to make up for it with forced dialogue. You have all this banter, immediately you have this banter between Poe and Finn that seems not buyable, because you know that they don't know each other. It completely fell flat for me. I didn't believe it at all. It's an understatement to say the discourse surrounding Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has been polarizing, but amidst the division, there are some great elements incorporated in the movie that seem to appease everyone, which includes the handling of the sequel trilogy's main trio of heroes. And again, I think that you're going to find a lot of people split on that as well. Watching this movie for myself, as someone who didn't care about these characters, even I was sitting there saying, there's no way, like, I can't believe that they're taking this time to say that Poe was a spice runner back in the day. They're completely changing his story arc that they had established in the comics and in the novels, saying that he's some kind of spice runner for no reason. They go ahead and they make Finn Force sensitive, but they don't actually tell you, and they go nowhere with that plot. It's just something that has to be explained to you that Finn is now Force sensitive. You want to argue that Rey had a good arc? I mean, I guess for her, it's really good for her. She literally gets everything given to her. So maybe, yeah, I guess you could argue that maybe she had a good plot for her. Maybe not great for a movie from a storytelling standpoint. But this main trio of characters, no one is going to look at this in a couple years and be like, oh yeah, Finn, Rey, and Poe are heroes. Come on. To even call them like a trio of characters, I mean, I guess technically they are, but it wasn't until this final movie we even got to see them together, and it's just a joke to me. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that they were done right? Is this something The Rise of Skywalker got right? Was Finn, Rey, and Poe? Because for me, it wasn't believable. If you had had maybe another movie in between there, like Episode 8, that could have built and could have had them overcoming initial struggles and like developing a better friendship, I could see how this and Rise of Skywalker would then be that payoff. But you can't have a payoff if you didn't have anything building up to it. That is the problem with Episode 9. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.